It is very clear that for the first time in American history, we have an authoritarian as our president. It is deeply, deeply concerning watching him attack our free press, our media, comedians, researchers, scientists, people with data. He doesn't like people with data. I mean, this is absolutely insane. Insane. When have we ever seen something like this? This is not normal. Do not let this be our new normal. Stand up, because this is not right. You know it. I know it. We all know this deep down. Like, let's not allow our political ideologies rule our core principles and integrity from what is right and what is wrong at this point in American history. Trump is wrong for what he's doing, and anybody that enables this behavior, you're complicit. You are complicit. The Republicans in Congress, the U.S. Supreme Court, you are all complicit to an authoritarian. And once we move past that line, do you know how hard it's going to be to backtrack and to get our democracy back on track? The truth of the matter is that he is destroying our Constitution, and he's empowering the executive branch, his position as president. And if all goes his way, like it has been for the most part, the president will now have way more power than that position has ever had in our history. Think about that. Think about that for future generations. Even if you're a Trump supporter, think about that. Are you happy empowering the position of a president for when a Democratic president comes in? So if he's if he consolidates power to this branch and that becomes the new norm, are you going to be happy when it's a Democrat with all that power as a president? You won't. Which is why it is imperative that we all push back and stand up. We call our representatives in Congress. We express our distrust in what's happening with the government at this point. We put pressure on them, headway, because you know what? The Supreme Court, the ball is in their court. They are our last check and balance. And so far, they have stood back and they haven't had much pushback. In fact, that their recent order unfreezing what the federal court has done to block Trump's administration and ICE agents from being able to racially profile people based on the color of their skin, their accent, their language, or their occupation, which is completely unconstitutional and settled law that is against the 4th and the 14th Amendment. That you cannot just see somebody walking down the street and be like, you know what? Look at the shade of his skin color. Was that an accent I heard? Let me make sure he's not illegal. That is not allowed. That is called a roving ICE agent, an immigration agent. They are not allowed to do that. The only place that they're allowed to do that is at the border or at a checkpoint. They have to have specific, articulable facts that raise a case for why they feel that they should be able to stop you and question your citizenships. They cannot just do that randomly to people. I mean, we're not in Nazi Germany. Okay? This is not allowed. We're not in US back in Japanese internment days. Okay? We are the United States of America. We are better than this. We are not allowed to just randomly pull people over, arrest them, even though we do not have a warrant. And so this is completely illegal. It's completely settled law. And you know what? The Supreme Court had one job, and that is to uphold our constitutional rights as Americans, and they failed us. They failed us because they unfroze that judge's order and said, nope, we're going to allow ICE ICE agents to continue racial profiling people, even though we know, because we're the highest judges in the land, we understand constitutional law, so we know that you're not allowed to do that, that this was already settled law, okay? But we're going to go ahead and allow him to continue on anyways, because we're a hyper-politicized Supreme Court, and we're no longer the institution with higher moral grounds and integrity like we used to be. Instead, we're just a politicized bunch of quacks that are not standing up to a tyrant at this point in time, and you will be remembered forever in history for your complicity in this. All of you Republican judges, you will be remembered, and you will not be remembered kindly the longer that you stand down and do not uphold your oath to the Constitution and to the American people. It's a sad day. A sad day. And we're going to be seeing some really, really important court cases coming up now from the Trump administration. So I'm curious to see how this goes. But if it goes like how most of the rulings have gone so far, I have a feeling we're going to be very, very disappointed. But I hope not. I hope not, for this country's sake. I hope that they uphold their oath to the Constitution and they do their job.